full weight on my arm and tore my pec off the shoulder bone. You can see here, I no longer have my pectoral.
हेलो गाइस, मेरा नाम सलमान है और आप सभी का वेलकम है मेरे चैनल SKC रिएक्ट्स पर। तो जो आज की वीडियो हम देखने जा रहे हैं उसका नाम है मिशन परफॉर्मेंस एंड हाउ टू ट्रेन स्पेशल फोर्स। तो यकीनन आज की वीडियो भी काफ़ी भरपूर इंफॉर्मेटिव होगी, बहुत कुछ देखने को मिलेगा और सीखने को मिलेगा। तो बगैर किसी टाइम वेस्ट के चलते हैं आज की वीडियो की तरफ।
This is going to be a rundown of the training I used to pass selection to be part of and then operate in Special Forces, how that's changed and how it looks now. At the end, I'll also give you my top 3 principles for keeping a physical edge in life. Let's start by summarising what a Special Forces soldier requires of their body, which is to have a strong, resilient tactical chassis that's fit and resistant to injury. This is where the concept of being hard to kill comes from, because you are going to be putting your body
यहाँ मुझे लगता है कि कुछ हॉलीवुड मूवीज की एग्जांपल दी जा रही है
I went through basic training to become a Royal Marines commando. 4 weeks away from passing out, I got the worst injury of my entire military career. The Tarzan Assault course is one of the commando tests and it's a fucking blowout from start to finish. One section involves jumping from a platform onto a cargo net. But instead of grabbing on with both hands, you punch your arm through and lock it off to secure yourself. On this morning, it was raining. I was wearing my belt kit and had my rifle, so about 30 pounds of weight. I launched onto the net, punched through, and then my foot slipped off. I took the full weight on my arm and tore my pec off the shoulder bone. You can see here, I no longer have my pectoral muscle. I should have taken time out to have surgery and rehab, but I wanted to finish training with my original troop. And that's what I did, with a lot of painkillers. In hindsight, I should have got it fixed. But I was so intent on finishing basic training as an original member of my troop, I didn't care. However, even if you've got the strongest will in the world, you still need the physicality to back that up. I was 24 when I joined the Marines. I started training seriously when I was 16. In that 8 years, I built a solid foundation of strength, which meant I could crack on and pass even with that injury. The point, when you make yourself robust, it gives you a powerful advantage. And I carried that ethos with me through to prepare for selection, which I started training seriously for in 2010. I was using a CrossFit style approach combined with endurance training, but not the CrossFit it is today. Back then, it was more about GPP, General Physical Preparedness. It sold itself on training for military, law enforcement, and jobs that required functional fitness for the real world. It was about building a big engine, being conditioned, and having applicable strength. Now, I feel that CrossFit is more orientated to the games, with more emphasis on Olympic lifting and gymnastics. Moves that are harder to master, and in my view, unnecessary if your goal is GPP and not to compete as a CrossFit athlete. I did my first tour of Afghan at this time as a Royal Marines tactical signaller attached to Special Forces. Using that CrossFit endurance training mix, I got to probably the fittest I've ever been. I could run a 40-minute 10K and still deadlift 220 kilos. I wanted to start selection knowing that I had a big tank of reserve because fatigue makes cowards of us all. The fitter and stronger you are, the more energy you're going to have left for the task in hand. If I'm on a gun range and I'm running on empty, it's going to be very hard to make sound tactical judgments. Whereas if I'm only hitting 60 or 70% of my max, it leaves all that energy left in the tank to think clearly and act decisively when I'm under pressure. And there is no doubt that helped me pass selection. And I carried those same principles through my career, particularly the emphasis on GPP training. Because in UKSF, you're the jack of all trades, master of none. Unlike our counterparts DevGru, aka SEAL Team 6, we don't have the manpower to only concentrate on one specific area. On the counter-terrorism rotation, you've got long dives to target, climbing ladders, clearing ships. Then you might switch back to Green Army style soldiering, carrying 140 pounds on your back, or being deployed to the desert or the jungle, fighting in 40 degrees of heat and humidity. So you need to have a well-rounded robustness that keeps you injury-free and enables you to maximize your mission performance. I stopped serving in 2015, but I still strive for this for 3 reasons. 1, everyday armor. I want a strong health insurance policy as I get older. The BMJ published a systematic review showing a clear dose-response relation between physical activity and all-cause mortality. So the more you train, the more you make yourself literally harder to kill. It lowers rates of cardiovascular disease and cancer, and the science in this is growing stronger by the day. 2. Opportunity cost. If I want to go for a 2-hour hike, or enter a Spartan race, or go deadlift at double body weight, or go mountain biking, or do some grappling, I want to be able to do all of that without worrying if I'm capable of it or if I might injure myself. 3. Enjoying life. I want to offset injury and illness and be able to do any activity I choose because I want to make the most of life. Not only now, but when I'm in my 50s, my 60s, my 90s. Strength, fitness, mobility. These are all use it or lose it. Without training, you become weaker and less able. I firmly believe that making physical training a part of your lifestyle in whatever form is essential. You are going to be more resilient. You will have greater capacity to deal with pressure, and you are going to open yourself up to more opportunities. Building a strong body is going to save you from a lot of problems in life in the long run. And it's going to give you an edge in a world where constant comfort is making everyone weaker, which you can see more about here.
आज की ये वीडियो देखकर मैं इस नतीजे पर पहुंचा हूं कि अगर आप फिज़िकली फिट हैं और चागो चौबंद हैं तो आप हर मैदान फ़तह कर सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए शर्त यही है कि आप फिज़िकली एक्टिव हों, और आप फिज़िकल एक्टिव होंगे तभी आप ये तरह तरह की जो है जिम्नास्टिक्स और ये जिम वगैरह दिखाई गई, तो उसमें आप ये बखूबी आसानी तरीके से ये सारे आप मेथड फॉलो कर सकते हैं। तो लिहाजा जो आज की जो वीडियो थी इसमें काफ़ी नए नए खेल इसमें दिखाई दिए, और स्विमिंग का बताया गया और निशाना अंदाज़ी का बताया गया। ओवरऑल वीडियो काफ़ी ज़बरदस्त थी, मुझे काफ़ी अच्छी लगी। अब आप लोग बताएं आप लोगों को ये वीडियो कैसी लगी। इस वीडियो को लाइक करें। ऐसी मज़ीद वीडियोस देखने के लिए इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। हम और आप मिलेंगे किसी और वीडियो में, तब तक दें हमें इजाज़त। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।